matchups. Let's be honest here.
Well,
Probably
I
is
mean,
like
if you were
only.
doing your research leading up to these qualifiers, I would say you were the
Is
expert.
there
But
is there anything to research on mid Primal Beast?
yeah,
There's a little
it
bit. I've
is.
seen a little bit
little bit.
recently, but I'm not gonna know these matchups. I just know conceptually you probably should have a rough time against Lena. Almost nothing beats. I feel like Gunner also just loses lanes, you know? Well, like,
Yeah,
not
no,
loses
that
them,
is
but
definitely true.
he just doesn't care about the lane. He just cares
He
about the rest of the game. So
he has literally told me, I don't care deaths, I don't care lane. So
yes, it's the Gunner way.
that guy learned a certain philosophy of Dota. I'm probably gonna attribute it to March, back when he played on that Ginnis Brews team in Southeast Asia, and he came back a changed man. You know, he started playing a real sacrificial mid laner, and which works great for this team because Moo is a pretty greedy off laner. It was part large reason why Digital Chaos made that strong run at TI6. So
Yeah.
it does have some nice synergy on this team. He's already leveled up Uproar, so he's ready to go for the harassment.
I mean, I've always said if nouns play around like the theoretical synergy of their players, I think it's very good for them. It's just a question of does it work in the meta? Like, does having a more sacrificial mid work in the current meta of Dota? For the last two patches, I think the answer was very clearly no. In this patch, maybe it's a little different. Maybe it works a little better for them. I'm interested to see if it pans out. I mean, that said, Gunner, it's not like he's sacrificial. It's just he's not the player to play like, you know, Shadow Fiend Lena mid and just farm for 40 minutes and then win. It's not really his style. He likes to run at you and smack you in the face.
I think they all challenged I Annihilate to a duel. I think I just saw that correctly. I'm pretty sure the entire Nouns team just challenged I Annihilate, which I have no doubt that, I mean, I Annihilate, he's been a mid laner who's been in the scene for a very long time, so I'm sure he's got some friendly relationships with some people on Nouns.
Danny's been around forever. Very chill guy. I'm sure there's no animosity. Just some psychological manipulation of the early CS, potentially. You know, your brain starts thinking about these gauntlets slapping you in the face instead of where am I keeping the lane equilibrium, and then you never know what can happen, right? And suddenly you're behind. All of a sudden, Gunner's got 4 and 4 off the first 2 waves. Was it the gauntlets that did it? I don't know. Pay to win.
Or was it the Uproar?
It could be the Uproar.
I'm telling you, man, like, I hate laning against this hero. Because
he's just going
we just had a full Uproar stacks with the trample leveled up. He doesn't go for the dive underneath tower, which it would have been a close call. There was a Fairy Fire on the Lena, so.
Good call. That damage, though.
Yeah. I mean, he was holding on to it. He had 4 stacks ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, this hero's just an early game monster. I don't know. First blood on Mirana. Not something you can see every day coming out from an Ursuline. Especially with a Wraith band. They just chased him down.
On a Mirana, you know. Caught him pre-level 2, I guess.
Nice first blood for this Ursa. I mean, this Ursa's really the linchpin of their draft in a lot of ways. Like, they want him to be able to convert on the DP ults, either with Roshan's or the space from the towers going down, and then eventually he's the guy who's going to kill these tanky heroes. I mean, DP and Lena aren't bad at it, but I feel like he has to be the sauce at the end. As Sunlight chased down by zombies.
I mean, Husky, like, he is mango. This man is challenging any combatants in his gladiator undying suit he's got going on. He's just been nonstop decaying KBU and fighting for every bit of CS. And Death Prophet kill that probably wasn't expected, but Husky's impact is, even if he didn't get that kill, is still kind of ruining this lane for him.
Very hard to beat Undying on these lanes these days. The new version and just how much damage you can do. It's just hard. Even a lane that is equipped to deal with them, you're still probably going to break even at best. Assuming...
Yeah.
I mean, like, Undying can always sacrifice his net worth to basically deter aggression. So the carry almost always has a decent time. Unless you're just chain killing them somehow, which...
Realm is dead.
Good luck. Yeah.
Big kill right there.
Arrow connects, I guess, and so much for the first blood. I mean, nouns are pulling ahead in these lanes. Like, I think the lanes are going very well for them outside of that first blood. All three of this top CS for them. Pretty much the exact type of start you want to see with like a Primal Beast lineup. Because this hero will take advantage of any lead you have. Like, he will take it and run it into the ground. Quite literally.
Nice Primal Beast pun there.
Thank you. I've been working on them all week. That was my research, you fool.
Yeah, it's good analyst research. I like that.
Yeah.
MMR Tourist trying to deal with this Undying, but it's close to be like he's totally free farming. Meanwhile, he's left with a 12-1 CS score, lowest of all the course right now. That's Undying for you. Even though Tusk is one of the better 4 positions, I would say right now, but it's just not enough to be able to contest. They're gonna go for the Tombstone kill, and they'll get it. Spirit Siphon healing up a good amount. This is the power you're seeing right here. The flat damage, flat heal makes a big difference in the lane now. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're gonna go for the kill onto Realm. Almost had him.
8 HP.
I mean, even if he doesn't die, they're still going for it. Oh, he got him. Oh, he didn't.
The Wraithband armor.
Yeah, just enough with the Tango healing him up. He regened enough to be able to survive through it all.
Oh, Nouns putting the pressure on these side lanes, man. They're making KBU feel the heat. I think this DP is getting to the point where she's kind of untouchable, but they have a really good start. They'll get him eventually. Not even an arrow, just right-click them down. You want more? Moo.
Yeah, trying, but that's a little ambitious. Jakiro is not the hero to dive at full HP under tower. Meanwhile, the Tusk rotates into the mid lane after they chased the Undying back. Undying TP'd home. Tusk thought, okay, now's a good chance to be able to gank mid. Fortunately, the Primal Beast, highest strength gain in the game. Not an easy hero to bring down.
Yeah, 4.3. They told Centaur to get the hell out of here. New boss in town. Pretty low for this rune contest. Gonna try.
Charge through. Bumps him back. No rune. Gunner now in trouble as a result of that. The Tombstone is out. It helps, but it doesn't stop Primal Beast from dying, but it might be able to get the counter kill. Annihilate dies. Arrow slides on by. Doesn't actually hit Warden. Husky, he's got a Windlace, but he's not faster than the bootsed up Tusk.
I wonder who that favors. I mean, I respect Gunner going in there as a bold move. He will pay the price. Still, like, the Undying kill, just getting the extra XP on these supports is pretty nice. Undying Mirana they really want extra levels somewhere because they're not traditionally... I mean, Mirana can farm up some jungle, but this Undying hero, anytime he gets involved in early kills, he's super happy.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's almost worth it for Nouns.
Well, you know Gunner isn't mentally put out by dying, or somebody else dying.
For sure. He might be put on, to be honest. You can power him up.
He's like, hell yeah, I got the kill on the enemy mid laner, but you died. I don't care about that.
All this man cares about is inflicting suffering. He's willing to do it at whatever price.
Going for the
early gank.
Yeah, they're going for the dive here. How does KBU respond? Did he TP? Do they find him? He's in that hiding spot to the right. Moo doesn't check it out. Gunner, they know he's somewhere. TPs are coming in now, though. Caught inside the ice charge. Ooh, with a beautiful ice path. Who are they going to go for? They're going to go for Gunner, but Gunner still had his Q up, so he was able to just scooch on by that shard, no problem.
Onslaught, Cap.
Onslaughts. Yeah, that was actually my research I should have been doing, is memorizing the abilities.
Implant these in your brain. There's gonna be a lot more of them. I mean, this hero's annoying in the early game, primarily because of his tankiness, but also just he can go in and out so fast. You often don't have the lockdown for him consistently. Oh, arrow bottom.
Lance, Realm is dead. Maybe they can get the kill on Jakiro as well. First hit bash. Yeah, that makes it a whole lot easier. Gunner shows up with the onslaught.
All right, Gunner. All right, calm down. Calm down. I know you want to kill some people, but we don't have to TP the whole brigade, you know.
He apparently just doesn't want to spend time in lane anywhere. Just only rotations nonstop. And this is a hero great for it, right? It's a hero that has its own initiating tool.
Yes.
Both pseudo stun thing, but also mobility spell. It's a nice combo.
It's like Earth Spirit mid, you know. You don't really want to just sit mid. You want to run around and kill people, get some action going, get some momentum. So it's a good hero for him. He's making some space. Faceless Void didn't really want to stay top versus the Exo, which will clean up this tower. Instead, they'll get the trade, which I think, once again, Nouns is pretty happy with here. Void's going Midas, so he doesn't really want to fight too much outside of coming in for cleanup duty. That said, you know, this Death Prophet, yeah, she had the early death, but Sunlight's come back a lot, and this hero is terrifying in the early game. He's having a pretty good one. Falcon Blade, Phase Boots online. Their lineup's going to want to fight around.
Tourist onslaughted into the Pulverize, into the Slam. There's still, though, the Spirit Siphon going strong. He still has a couple more charges. He doesn't have a way out of this, though.
The hell is
he heals
this?
so much, but there was nobody else to help him. He was surrounded by both heroes and zombies.
Yeah, we see the power of these siphons, oh man. Like, my god, this hero's insane in the early game. But they will bring the numbers
100 heal a second for each one that's going on. That's pretty tough to eat through.
I mean, we did caster curse him, but otherwise he's been having a decent time. That's it.
I mean, I don't know if that's a caster's curse. I feel like that's, if anything, that whole thing proved us right. Gunner, oh no. Trying to go for that double damage. Fortunately, there is the Moonlight Shadow, which they do not have detection for. The double damage turnaround, though, still trying forward the Pulverize. Anybody to stop it? LSA comes out. A Chronosphere that doesn't actually hit the Ursa, but hits the whole back line. No, Realm, he wasn't able to chase down Gunner, and now they're able to get and close the distance on top of that Chronosphere. And Marturis still has plenty of Spirit Siphons. Bash, bash, bash. What the hell was that? Costa Bile turns around. LSA, Annihilate, only able to clip one. The other two get the kill.
Costabile, Midas, he doesn't care. He's going to clean up the fight on top. Undying putting in a huge amount of work as well. They didn't even have Tombstone for that. He's just 2,000 HP with the ult, punching them all. And of course,
coordinated honking from Nouns. That's pretty obnoxious.
That's what you get for being at boot camp. You know, you can sit there and discuss these things all day.
Yeah. Good way to call the enemy team clowns without having all chat.
Very true. You can also do that in the post-game interviews, you know? That's the other route.
True.
As we've seen before.
Javelin pickup, so we're going to have a pretty fast Maelstrom for Costa, the way this is going. Mid lane, they do have Exorcism. See if they pop it. Let's see if they can win this fight. Oh, it is a lot of damage already on the Death Prophet. Spirit Siphon 1 is out onto Gunner. The Pulverize, though, isn't doing quite enough damage. Now they've got Costa here as well. He's run out of Spirit Siphons and too much damage again. There just isn't enough in the tank from KBU. They lose the fight, get broken, and get run down by Nouns.
Man, that fight didn't even necessarily look that bad. Like, they're all standing in macro. They killed the Tombstone. DP still had, you know, a Siphon left. And still, these heroes just shrug it off, man. They're just too beefy.
Yeah, they may not have damage problems later on, but right now when the Lina and Ursa are not ready to fight, really, it becomes pretty apparent that they just can't fight through all these strength heroes.
Yeah, their lineup has a bunch of like cheap nukes, but cheap nukes are pretty bad versus these high HP totals in the early skirmishes. Yeah. I can understand them wanting to make this mid move. I think it's conceptually the move you want to make. Just they don't have the cores who can come in and give them the extra damage to pump it up. Like Jakiro's kind of bad in these early game circumstances where he only gets one round of spells off and then the fight's decided. I mean, also Costa is, I mean, he's played amazing this game. Like, he owned his lane, made the right rotations, took a tower, joined every fight with a Midas, and still had high impact. Dilation's done a decent amount of work. He is mega farmed. Jeez,
this is GPM. Costa when he looks the best, right? Like,
yes.
He was playing, what was it, Lifestealer? That Lifestealer game. Remember when he got into the fight around the mid lane tower and just was like nonstop right-clicking people for like 10 seconds, picked up a bunch of kills. Like, this is a guy who also plays a very active style for his position, and when it goes right, it means you get turbo farmed. Gunner gets ganked to the mid lane, and Moo jumps on top of that one, trying to save him. And now in danger of, well, at least taking a bit of damage on his way out. Still, though, not enough for KBU to take that mid tower. You could see Nouns putting a heavy amount of responsibility on the whole team to show up and defend mid tower at all costs.
Another Void teleport. They do have the damage for Primal Beast that time, throwing the whole kitchen sink at him. They are respecting the Chrono Tombstone. I mean, if Lina can't engage in the fight, they also don't have the best Tombstone killer. I mean, Lina, Ursa. But Ursa's... You know, Ursa's on catch-up duty, which she's been doing decently well. Still, I'm worried because these games where Faceless Void has this good a start, I feel like they are very favorable. This hero does not typically lose that easily from such an ahead position. He's just because he's such a monster. Like,
yeah. I mean, there's a reason for that, right? This hero isn't supposed to be ahead by a significant amount of net worth.
Yeah,
like,
not by
you
this
should be
amount.
even, if not a bit behind, because you just don't have the same kind of farming mechanism that other heroes usually do.
Because the big upside for KBU's lineup is they can abuse his cooldown. They can abuse Chrono with the Ursa DP, forcing early Roshans and early map control with the Aegis. But if Costa's this farm and he's joining fights without Chrono because he's so farmed and can do so, then you have a problem, right?
Yeah.
Now you're in a scenario where you do this Rosh and suddenly they might contest you without Chrono because they can do it with Tombstone plus Faceless Void being able to join the engagement. So KBU might be forced into a bit of a slower game here just because of how strong he is. Like, they're going for the Battle Fury on the Ursa, BKB on DP. Probably need to wait for this next round of items. Then maybe you can take a full 5-on-5 fight. Even then, it's going to be hard. Now its team fight is freaking strong, man. Donald, Chrono, Tombstone, Primal Beast. Mirana ult on top of it all.
Yeah, it's funny how they've got a bunch of melee heroes, but they do have ways to get damage inside of Chronosphere, or at least combo with it pretty nicely. Tombstone, great example of that. Dawnbreaker has the Solar Guardian, which, as long as you don't land in the bubble and get it slightly afterwards, it's a nice chain stun to follow up.
And of course Arrow, right? So yeah, I agree. They have some nice ways to use Chrono as a utility spell on top of the fact that Costa's so farmed and it'll kill everybody in it anyway. You're always happy to see that. It just makes the enemy's game that much harder. Of course, there's no hard saves for this Chrono either. There's no Wyvern or, you know, Shadow Demon or something in this game. So whoever he Chronos is, they're screwed, man. They're just stuck there.
Yeah. Oh, they push mid lane, take that tower, re-smoke it up. Nouns apparently feeling like this is the time to invest the most amount of resources with their double smoke movement. They're going to try and catch KBU somewhere down here. Now, KBU is playing the hard right side of this jungle area, but if they get baited into popping out, like they do here, it's going to be a fast death. As the snowball save, couldn't even get it off in time. The pulverize was constantly mini-stunning him, so he just didn't get off the snowball fast enough.
I mean, they were done no matter what, but that pulverize is annoying, man. People aren't used to playing against it.
No,
I noticed it a lot. Like, the mini stun and the AoE, it catches you off guard. You just not enough reps versus the spell. The benefit of new heroes. People, it's not in their, you know, memory bank of 20,000 Dota games that they played versus every other hero.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Who's going to his carry style Dawnbreaker build, almost has a Deso complete.
Yeah, I mean, this lineup is, it's going to come together in the next few minutes here for Nouns. Like, they have a full lock-in on their Undying, Vessel on Mirana. So their supports have some nice items to fight the sustained battle that is kind of deciding these early engagements. And then, of course, all of Nouns' cores are scaling pretty decently here into their BKB timing, which is going to match what KBU is going to try and put out. I say that, and they're still a decent way away. I think they're in split push mode, man. No way you take a 5-on-5 right now.
Yeah, it does seem like it. Annihilate. Constantly playing top. May get caught by Moo here. Doesn't actually have the mana for the Starbreaker, and Annihilate's trying to dodge it. Arrow, but they actually don't know that all these trees have been cut down.
He's out.
The courier spotted him maybe, but he's totally clean, in and out. And Costa, meanwhile, did die to the gank at bottom lane. So great exchange there for KBU. The first real W, I think, of the game for them.
Yeah, huge turnaround. They got the biggest kill on the map, 800 gold, going to their Ursa. Absolutely vital for him. And especially just picked up his Battle Fury. Now they're going to get mid tower off it as well. Very large exchange in terms of momentum and map control. And putting the support chainstun to use while they can, because he was closing in on that BKB. Now he has to sit there with Midas off cooldown. 300 gold from it, pretty sad. That was a very good timing kill.
Gunner seeing a lot. These Moonlight Shadows have been really value. Pulverize leading things off. Ice Path trying to help, but obviously doesn't save Warden. If anything, he's just got to think about himself.
That's another nice little combo with Mirana Primal Beast. You just charge in, pulverize, and then you throw the arrow. And it's pretty much guaranteed a lot of times. It's like one of the low CD ultimates where you can actually play with arrow, not feel bad about it.
Yeah, and then that hero is then stunned after pulverized, so you can trample afterwards. One of my biggest complaints about Primal Beast is that it's kind of awkward, this onslaught trample combo, because you want to pulverize right away, like Gunner does here. Grabs him, arrow doesn't hit in time. The BKB from MMR Taurus is going to help out big time. They've already killed Moo with the Laguna Blade. Now they look to run down more beautiful shards. There is going to be a pretty nice Chronosphere in response. They're trying to deal with the Tombstone at the same time, though. All the damage stopped out, and Annihilate couldn't finish off the tomb either. Left it with just one hit, chased down by the zombies. Ursa almost suffering the same fate there, but was able to blink out.
Man, that shards looked so good, and then it just baited him in for the clump.
Yeah.
Chrono on top of Tombstone on top of Maelstrom procs for days. This Faceless Void, he just has too good of a start. He's causing him so many issues. Imagine he's behind in this game, right? Like, these fights look so different.
Sure, yeah.
Instead, he just goes in and he cleans them all up in Chrono. His DP doesn't have a chance. No armor, no survivability. I mean, they get Moo. That's worth something. It's not like a total loss, but again, they're the lineup who wants to be setting the tempo with the early Roshans for the Ursa.
Yeah.
Every time this Void gets to join the fight and win the fight, that becomes a little bit harder. Because now we're in the period, alright, no Chrono. No Undying, no BKB. Are you hitting Roshan? No. So you feel kind of bad.
And there's the lineup that doesn't take an early Roshan.
Instead, they're smoking into them. No Chrono smoke.
Yeah, they're just going for it. Sounds relentless in that regard. The smoke is going to break. They get the initiation onto the Faceless Void. Great combo. Punch into the Ice Path. Meanwhile, Gunner runs into the back lines with his onslaught, but he doesn't really get a whole lot. The arrow, oh no, the Lina caught out by an arrow. Gunner collects that kill pretty quickly. They do with the Tombstone. Realms is able to get that and the Undying kill. So all around a 2-for-2 trade-off. I'm going to say that's to the advantage of KBU, but it would have been so nice to be able to keep their Lina alive. Great arrow from Seafreak.
I mean, that arrow salvages that fight, man. If he does not hit a 5-second arrow on Lina, I have to imagine that fight goes a bit more KBU's way, and then you're looking at Roshan. Because that fight's pretty much the dream, you know? Like, Nouns is taking you with no Chrono and Void insta-dies. You're pretty happy about that. And still, you can't win it hard enough to convert it into objectives here. So Nouns are going to be content. Continue to farm, push out the map. Now Chrono's back up in 10. They have the ability to smoke, contest the Roche, or try and fight for it themselves. All about the vision game and the pit control. Kaya on this Primal Beast. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the problem with the hero's scaling, right? He just does a bunch of spell damage.
Yeah. He does do a lot of spell damage, so I guess this build kind of makes sense. And going in.
Ice Path. Buys him a few seconds, but literally trampled into the ground by Gunner and his dominating Primal Beast. And Nouns? Are they going to be the ones to take the first Roshan? Ooh, that's going to feel real bad for the Ursa lineup.
Yeah, this is what I was saying. Like, KD just hasn't been able to force it. Now you have to fight into this pit, into the tombstone. I just don't see it happening. Nouns are having to clean up more.
Don't let him blink away, Gunner. Comes out of the pit, gets the pick off. They go right back to completing up this Roshan. I want to talk about this Lina build. We may not see it in completion, but he is going to be going the Aghanims build. We saw this being used in Eastern Europe. I think maybe it was GPK or somebody who was using it. New way to be able to build the Lina, like actually focusing on spell damage rather than the right-click build that has been so prevalent lately.
And this is the new Aghs, right? So it's not really the old pure, it's like you get this flame cloak and you're flying and become I don't know.
I mean, all your spells do crazy amount of damage.
Yeah, you get 30 spell amp, you get the resist, so you're a lot tankier, which seems decent in this game. I think also the unobstructed movement is pretty nice in terms of, like, if you can ever run over a cliff and kill Tombstone or maybe make the Chrono hard, it seems pretty good in this game. So yeah, we've seen this build a lot more. Aether Lens into the Aghs with, whatever other items you want along the way. It's an interesting take on the hero. I think it looks really good some games, and other games it looks really bad.
Okay.
I've not been impressed with the consistency of this build yet, but I will say the games it looks good. Like, it looks really good.
Yeah. And I guess that's something that's a big difference between the physical damage build of Alina, right? I would argue that's a pretty consistent build, right? Like, even in losing games, you do output crazy amounts of damage, and it just kind of like evenly just keeps on scaling up, nice and nice and nice. This Aghs build, it hits certain peaks and valleys, that's for sure.
Yeah. The physical build, you feel like you have a late game you're playing towards that's going to be scary almost versus any lineup. It's going to force the issue, they have to deal with you. This build can be dealt with easier with the right lineups, I think. And that's why I'm saying, in the right game, like, you can't deal with it, then it becomes very annoying. And you're the spellcaster running around, nuking everybody, chunking them. They can't hit you. It's like a nightmare. And he does have the physical to back him up, right? He has DP Ursa, so we'll get caught here, but...
Ironhighlight's been doing this play. I saw him doing it earlier up at top lane, where he's trying to cut the side lanes, and part of the way he does it is he just kind of burrows his way through the trees, tunneling through with the LSA. Gets found that time, though.
The mole has been caught.
Yeah.
And eradicated.
Those things are, moles, they're damn slippery little creatures. They're hard to catch. Nouns, though. They seem to be experienced exterminators. Constantly sweeping back and forth, trying to catch heroes. Oh! Couldn't get the swing off in time. A first hit bash might have caught him. Maybe could have chronosphered as well, but Costa not quite quick enough on the fingers.
Yeah, maybe got, padding a little bit. Either way, KBU back to the slippery ways, trying to rat this game out to the next round of items. I'm not entirely sure what's going to push him over the edge. I guess it's just Lina Aghs. They have the Ursa BKB. I mean, he would really like Basher. I feel like it's a little too far away right now.
Yeah. With
how much space they're losing and how fast they're losing it. They're going to have to take a fight soon. Because you're going to have a BKB on Dawn. You have a Mech and Locket on this Undyne. And Z-Freak almost has an Aghs. So he does have an Aghs, actually. So once again, like, the tankiness build-up here from Nouns it's getting out of control.
Run, Danny, run. Made it all that way just to TP out. I'm not sure if he hit a single creep, to be honest. But hey, he drew a lot of attention. I mean, somebody on KBU is farming on the other side, at least.
Yep, puts him up to the Basher on Ursa. Which it might guarantee the burst kill on one of these targets. Like, the game plan has been jump and kill this Void. which I agree with. Aegis out in a minute will free up that opportunity again. Basher helps secure the burst with the Tusk and the Ice Path follow. And then you take the team fight after that and hope for the best. I think if Void doesn't get jumped and he chronos you, you're in for a rough time.
BKB complete for Moo. Use the rest of this Aegis to pull those down a tier 2. Get themselves the outpost. Now from here on out, Nouns can kind of chill out, control the map, and play for second Roshan, I assume.
Yeah, no need to force Ion here. Get in some weird situation. Showing mid for KBU here. Again, no saves for Chrono. Yeah, there it is.
Oh no, he tried to blink Snowball, save it, but instead the touch just blinks into the Chronosphere. And Realm, well, he tries to jump the back line at the same time, but with his 2 cores, or 2 allies already dead anyway, he's not left with a whole lot to do. Everyone's just gonna get run down except for the Lina, who didn't even come close to that fight, really. And Nouns, well, maybe they don't need a second Roshan. Maybe they can just keep taking objectives and team fights around Chronosphere and end this game early.
I mean, nice attempt of the snowball save. If he's really fast and they get that, potentially game winning. I don't know if you risk the game on that, but this is a very interesting way to try and bait out the fight and take it. They definitely had the idea in mind. Just Costa too fast. And I mean, there is no other save. You can just chrono anything. Any core he sees, he just chronos him, and it's going to be a good fight. You're going to drop Tomb. You're going to arrow somebody. You have Donald to bail you out. Pretty straightforward for Nouns. They pretty much just see anything.
God, that was a rough one for the Tusk. I don't know if he thought he was going to get the Walrus Punch on Costa, or if he was trying to get the Snowball save. Either way. It's their only real move against this Faceless Void when he goes for the initiation, right? Because as you said, they don't have a save mechanism besides the Snowball. So he's either got to get a perfect Blink Snowball save right before the Chrono goes down, or he's got to hit him first and get the Walrus Punch, and then maybe the Ursa can chain it with a bash or something.
I mean, you got to hit him first, man. I'll be realistic. Like, I don't think I've ever seen someone Snowball save a Chrono jump in my life. Like,
well, maybe you haven't seen me play Tusk, but fair enough.
I've seen the Tusk King play it. I don't even think he's doing it.
5-second arrow, but they're on the other side of the high ground. Kind of hard to just run through that tunnel of death that is that staircase. So maybe they'll go through now. Seeing some heroes in the mid lane.
What do you think about this Ags build on Primes? I think they're going to hit nothing with this smoke, but
I cannot tell if this Aghanims is good or not. I've only been able to build it once. I feel like it's only good if the break mechanic is good. That is what my gut says.
I mean, in theory, it does a decent amount of AoE damage. In theory.
Yeah, in theory, if you have the uproar stacks. That's the weird part, right? Is that, like, most of the time, how Primal Beast is going to be initiating is you're going to onslaught in, maybe you pop trample as you onslaught in, you grab somebody with pulverize, bam, 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 and you want that guy to die in that period of time. So you're not actually using the Aghanims part at all during that period of time. It's only after you get hit in response to your initiation that you can then pop Uproar and start doing some damage.
It helps them extend the fight though, right? Like,
oh, for sure, yeah.
Which I think is one of the hero's issues. It's like, what happens after everything you talked about happens? You know, you charge in, you lift the guy, you hit him. If he doesn't die, or even if he dies, what happens in terms of your team fight impact after that? I think like this Ag Shard is an interesting way to try and, you know, spell magic damage build him, rely on your HP for survivability. You're just like hurling all these random waves and rocks around. I mean, the damage adds up, right? He has like Sange and Kaya, so he's amping it. I think it's an interesting way to build the hero. I think it's viable. Well, I think it's very good in the right game. I'm not sure how else you scale a hero.
Well, yeah, that is the problem. I think it may be the only real build for the hero, just because I don't know what else you really build on him that feels good.
I don't know. Divine Rapier.
Like, all the damage items you could build, like, Trample doesn't take advantage of them. It's really only spell amplification.
I mean, I guess you just go like a refresher, right? But
Radiant's top tower is under
it's not even that amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's an interesting hero. That's why I said, like, I think people have to figure it out, try some stuff. But I think this build is an interesting way to do it. And here's Roshan with a shard for somebody.
Give him the
Gonna go to
rocks.
Gunner.
Yeah.
Yeah, my boy.
All right. So now they gave this just a free, like, pretty decent buff, which is now the rocks split into 3 like it did in Aghanim's Labyrinth. So now he throws a single rock and then it bounces into 3 different rocks in the back lines, which, you know, just adds some more chaos, like Invoker does with his meteor. You know, you just throw some shit on the ground. Maybe it lands, maybe it doesn't.
I feel like the spell's a little underrated. Like, I don't think it's anything crazy, and it can be kind of hard to use. But if you do land it, I think it's decent. I mean, it's a 1.75 stun. Not insignificant. It like randomly catches people sometimes on the split.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you know, you'll never complain about getting another stun, right? Like, any new ability that stuns, you're like, okay, that's great. Stuns are great.
Yeah, I mean, unless my team grease me, you know, I'll never complain. Oh, arrow hits smoked.
Well,
They
that
ping it
makes
out.
things very awkward. And it
Yeah.
completely ruins the smoke move of KBU.
Z-Freak sends a message. Says, I know what you're up to when you're sleeping.
He knows when you're hiding your base. He knows when you're pushing out. He knows whether or not you've been bad or good. And nouns.
Thought it was naughty
there.
or nice.
Well, whatever, man. I mean, this isn't a 1-to-1 Santa, all right?
I mean, that was what I set you up for, man. Now you ruined it. What do I...
What the hell?
No, he knows when you've been naughty or nice.
I thought you were just complaining about your teammates griefing you, and now you're griefing me? Hello?
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
Hey, they making a move. Oh no, the Moonlight Shadow, it's ruining it all! Oh, he sets up for a free Starbreaker hit. A big swing
The
that kills the
Pulverize.
Jakiro and now gets the Pulverize on top of the Ursa. No chance for an Enrage. Oh,
That was
no.
not the move.
They were running outside their base. I saw on the map, I was like, oh, maybe they'll catch Moo. No, it's Moo who catches them. Once again, no answers to the Moonlight Shadow.
They're just getting outmaneuvered this game. Inability to take the 5-on-5s unless they can get the earlier Aegises and Snowball with their DP Ursa. Just never happened. Now these laking fights are just impossible.
Yeah.
Too much net worth. Gunner be blowing bubbles, man.
Yeah. Blowing bubbles while he's
Radiant's bottom barracks.
charging around.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Aegis still up for 2. Full butterfly on Costa. I wish you the best of luck, my friends. You shall need it.
Is under attack.
I mean, they have no chance of being able to burst him down, I think.
It's gotta be. I mean, they have Abyssal Ursa. Right, punch. And he's eaten.
Okay. Ooh, he managed to get off the snowball at least. No save, though, for this Death Prophet. As Costa's able to run him down with the BKB Chrono. Now the buybacks, though. This is KBU, their last chance to be able to hold Realm. Going for the kill onto Gunner. He's so damn tanky and he's onslaughting away. He's actually used the Ogre Seal Totem to be able to jump away instead. Now the Faceless Void, right in the middle of everybody, gets stunned up a few times. Snowball hit as well. MMR Torres is getting a lot of Spirit
Gunner's
Siphon in.
back.
Here comes Gunner, though. He grabs Annihilate, gets caught by the Ice Path, though. Annihilate wasn't able to get away in time. Costa runs him down
This
and
Exo doing
should
work.
be able to get a little bit more as looks like MMR Torres dies underneath the tier 4s, and it's all left. Chen, a Fountain Farm that Costa really wants to go for. Time walk
Soaring
and gets
Dragon.
him. Reverse time walks out. Lives through it
Rising
all.
Phoenix.
It is no longer a rising phoenix.
sun.
It is a phoenix that has died in the egg,
Please.
died before rebirth, and that is going to be it for game 1. I mean, we set up this series to be able to talk about whether or not Nouns was looking in good shape, and I would say from this game 1, coming to the TI qualifiers looking pretty good.
Yeah, they look pretty solid. they are definitely going to have a very strong idea of what they want to do this qualifier. I mean, just looking at how these guys are playing pubs, like what they're playing, this Undying is not just something random. Husky's been spamming the saves.